everybody, it's Mark Ruggiero here, Clark Commando 1983. It's about 11 o'clock in California here, March 1st, 2024, and cancer keeps fucking with me, pardon my French. But we are here to continue my deep dive into the weltkrieg. This will have to look, I think this is my fourth video. And in case you missed it, be sure to check out Nunguaya's channel. We did a great live show yesterday, me, him, and Hexy, otherwise known as Hex to Hex. That was a lot of fun. I'm going to just try to get through turn 2 here tonight. And then I'll possibly put up another video with some more books or just some more discussion on games. I love gaming so much. I'm going to miss it when I'm dead. I guess that statement sounds kind of silly, doesn't it? But anyways, that being said, I'm going to have hopefully some more gaming, get some energy. I don't have no chemo till the 13th. But you're not here to hear about my woes. You're here to, if you are watching, to see the game. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and this is your first time seeing this. Please comment, like. I love the comments. Really keeps me motivated, gets my spirits up. So here we are in turn 2, and there's no central power reinforcements yet, and we're going to double check that. Gosh darn it, I should have done that before I started the video. I don't want to waste your time. But let me look in the scenario book here. Remember, each month is 7 turns long. And initially with the Schieffelin plan here, you are kind of locked in a little bit. And some people, I've had a couple comments about, the initial release schedule is kind of a mess, blah, blah, blah. So it looks like we don't have to worry about reinforcements for the Germans till turn 5, which is cool. And things are on a mobilization schedule here, which isn't that difficult. I've shown you before, as I just simply look at the setup and so let's see. So the Germans here, there's no reinforcements. So Central Power land movement phase will advance to. And we look on here, so for turn 2, all 2-6 cavalry are now released. And I get to release any 195 or 185 infantry division under the control of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Army. So I'm going to look at my setup. That's the easiest way to do this. And I can release a 9-5 or an 8-5 division, in addition to the ones that are already released. So let's check that out here. Okay, Mark, cancer fingers, trying to turn my pages. Gets a little bit difficult sometimes. So it looks like we have 8-5s next 2304 for the 1st Army, 2405. 2506, so 2304. Let's see. I've already moved a couple guys. So we got 1st Army, 2304. They're furthest away. 2305. Let's make sure. We're going to look. 17th, 18th. And then 2405, the 5th and the 6th. I already moved those. They're up here. Whoops, I don't want to get in front of the camera. I hope I didn't block you guys. So we're going to go ahead and release division. So it looks like 2305. We're going to get the release from the 1st Army. Let's see if I can adjust the stack without making a mess. The 17th Infantry Division there. I really hope I didn't just block the camera, guys. I'm so sorry if I did. I really hope not. I shoot these videos live, so. Okay, then the 2nd Army, I get to release one. So, 2307. So let's do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's release the 13th here. Put him a little cockeye. That's the one for the 2nd Army. Then the 3rd Army, look here, 2309. Yeah, that looks like that's it. 2309. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, there's a 9-5. Maybe we could release that. Let's see, who's that under? Is it 3rd Army or 4th Army? Because it's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Oh, it's not under 3rd Army. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this guy from the 3rd Army here, we'll release him. And then the 4th Army's way down here. Do I have any 9-5s? I do have one somewhere. It looks like... Oh, here we go. That was the 2nd Army. Well, I already picked my guy, so we'll stick with what I picked. 4th Army, 2511, 2512. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, we'll release the 11th Division here. Now, one thing that is interesting is a lot of games allow the Germans to set up in Luxembourg. But this game obviously starts early enough in August where that hasn't happened yet. All right, so all the 2-6s are released. And we actually might have some combat this phase. I guess I could zoom in a little bit, huh? Let's see here. Let's zoom in just a hair. Adjust the camera a little bit. Let's hope I don't block anything. So we're going to move the Germans here. We're going to at least get through the German turn. So we're going to do movement. I'm looking at my my terrain effects. So we'll go ahead and we'll move. Now we got to pay attention to supply, don't we? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's about the max range for supply. Let's double check that. I can't move the headquarters yet. And I want to make sure if I do an attack that I can supply my troops. So let's see here. 17, 19, rule 19 is supply. 4 movement points. The strength of the unit is reduced by 1. Okay, so we don't want to do that. And counterattacking is greater than 8. Let's make sure I'm probably not going to attack with my cavalry anyways. But what I want to see is if I can get these infantry divisions here into here, and then I get these guys down to here to get a more powerful attack. And I would like to attack that cavalry unit, if nothing else. I'm trying to be a little cautious. So river is +1. That's not a major river, it's just a river. And you don't do Zocs for supply. Obviously you can't go through a Zoc, but I have friendly units there. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can get back to an HQ right now, but that's the max. And specifically where I'm talking about is right here. So this is all clear up to here is the 1st Army HQ. So this guy's go 1 across the river, 2, 3, 4. So this hex is maxed out. This guy is actually not in supply right now because of the Zoc here. But we'll fix that. We're gonna move in with some infantry. So let's do that. I'm not gonna. So I can stack 6 divisions. So I got 2 cavalry divisions there. So we're gonna go, boop. That'd be 1 for the river, 2 for the clear, 3 to leave a Zoc, and 4 to enter. And they have 5 movement points. So that's as far as they can get. 3. All right. Then we get the 2 cavalry divisions there. So that's 5. This guy here that just got mobilized is going to go to here so we can establish a supply line to the cavalry here. This guy who just got released is going to go 1, 2. This guy here, 2. Oh, yeah, I got to remember that. So this is where the cool hexes come in, is clear to here. So 1, and then we're going to cross a woods here, 2, 3, 4. So that guy can go there. And then I got this division way down here that got released. He's broken. It's 1 movement point. 2, 3, 4, 5 to get in front of the cavalry. I don't know if that's a great move or not, because that will give the Frenchies some options. So maybe not the best idea. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so that's movement. There's no naval because we're not doing the campaign. And we don't have any naval moves. Central Powers combat phase. So we're going to have our first combat. So I'm going to go ahead and walk through each step. And I'm working on surrounding Lee Edge at this point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this stack here attack this Belgian cavalry unit. And we're going to open up the combat rules and we're going to walk through that because this is a learn to play video. So we know we're in supply, so we know we're good there. So combat. Let's walk through this together and hopefully get some benefit out of this. And like I said, the designer, and I've shared it a few times, David Schroeder, has some really phenomenal series of videos on how to play this system. So I'm going to highly recommend you watch those if you're interested also. But I really enjoy sharing this with you guys. And so for you that pay attention and watch my channel, thank you so much. This really helps me get through my cancer fight tremendously. So I won't read the rule, but I'm going to scan it here. I do have some, I want to make sure I don't miss anything because there are some little steps in here. So like I said, we're going to have that stack attack that lone cavalry. And I will look at the combat rules and then the cavalry rules. Actually, let's look up cavalry real quick because they may have a retreat before combat option. And if they do, I don't want to miss that. Now, I do have some cavalry in that hex, so they may not be able to. So that's rule 30. Let's look at that first. So they may not be able to withdraw anyways because I have cavalry there. Let's see. Cavalry units with a full strength in the upper right corner of 1 or 2 for British and Germans are always considered to be in supply for both attack and counterattack purposes. So, bam, just learned something there, didn't I? And hopefully you did too. If a cavalry unit is attacked entirely by non-cavalry units, you could retreat. But nope, I got cavalry. Now see, the rules do have these little niche things that can be a little bit difficult to remember, but I actually enjoy this. So rule 30.4, if cavalry units cannot trace a line of supply of no more than 8 movement points from a friendly active rail line or port or headquarters during the months of November to June, their combat strength is reduced by 1 point for each extra movement point in the length. And have their movement allowance reduced to 4 to 5 for Germany and Great Britain. Cavalry units with a strength of 0 would be removed from the map during the monthly trench construction phase. This represents supplying your horses. So, but anyways, I have cavalry in there so they cannot run away. During the combat phase, the player whose phase it is may attack enemy units, always voluntary. So not mandatory at all. And I could not, maybe I could have moved that Belgian cavalry actually in the Entente player's turn. I may have screwed that up. Mobilization. I'm going to look that up really quick. And if I did screw it up, I'm just going to continue as I'm playing. Let's see here. Mobilizations. They have to be attacked to be mobilized. So anyways, so we didn't screw that up. German cavalry units may not use column movement. Oh, I forgot I could move more German cavalry. Oh boy, I kind of screwed that up too, didn't I? Well, you know what? I'm going to stick with my mistakes. I'm going to just keep pressing forward. I see people all the time worry about screwing their game up. And you know what? I don't worry about it. I just keep moving. So I'm going to keep going. So I've already picked the hex to be attacked. I only have 1 attack, so you resolve them in the order you want. Never compelled to attack or counterattack. Different units stacked in the same hex. You could designate them to attack different hexes. You can't split the units. Judge their strength at the instant of combat. So resolution. So you use the CRT, which I'll show you in a minute. So I have to calculate the number of strength points that are attacking in the hex in question. So there's no reduction for supply length, etc. Let's see, evolved less adjustment, strength point reduction markers, terrain, and supply line length. So the defender can choose the hex side. So let's do that first. It can be where the attack's coming through or any adjacent. And in this case, it's all clear, so there's no real choice to be made. But for example, with these guys attacking here, they could pick for their defensive benefit that hex side, which is clear, this hex side, which is clear, or this hex side, which is clear. So in this case, there's no real choice to make. But just as an example, you could. There's some exceptions in the rules here for urban terrain. So the attacking player must expend supply points for the attacking units before the CRT is used. See supply rules. And they could come from any headquarters. Okay, so we're going to look at the supply rules again really quick because I know, let's see here, I forgot, I may not want to use every strength point in the hex. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. Supply points. I wish I gave a rules reference for that. Supply points. Headquarters supply. Let's see here. Units using half strength do not have supply points expended for them. Note that column attacks would be quartered without supply. Now that is interesting because the one rule says the attacker must expend supply. So I'm going to assume that this rule allows you, except for artillery, can always use at least half round fractions down in their combat strength to attack or counterattack. So I'm assuming that means if you can't get supply, like you're in a pocket, something like that, still allows you to attack. Surrounded units and surrender won't apply here. Ugh. Okay, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Rule 19.2. The expenditure of a single supply point supplies 4 strength points. Or 2 strength points if you're counterattacking. All right, so let's look here. So we're gonna, oh my goodness. I'm gonna look at I'm gonna show you the combat results table so I can explain my thinking. I want to try to kill those 2 factors. So here's the standard combat. Let me look at the table and then I'll share with you. I've got quite a bit of combat power in there, but I'm not so sure. So if I supply 16, that's let's see, if I roll a 1, and I don't believe there's going to be any modifiers, I can guarantee to kill the 2 strength points on a roll of 1. And if I go based on 4 attack strength points for every supply point expended, then if I do 12, And if I remember how to do losses right, so yeah, I think we're gonna do, so let me show you here. So if I do, I'm a little bit of a gambler, so if I supply 12 strength points, so that would, and I roll anything but a 1, I score at least 2 casualty points. Now 8, if I was to go down to that, because if you do any fraction, you still expend the supply point, that gets me down where it's 50-50. So we will attack only with the top 8 factor unit and the 2 cavalry. That'll give me 12, and I just knocked my whole stack over here. So we're going to go ahead and attack with the top, this guy here, the 19th, and the 2 cavalry units. And don't worry, when I get rolling on this, I'm not going to explain every single combat. I'm just going through this because I want you to be able to learn how to play too. And the 2 cavalry, so that'll be 12 factors. And we're going to go ahead, and that means I got to expend 3 supply points. So we can get back to the first Army HQ and the second. So they both start with 100 points of supply for the Germans. So I'm going to expend 2 from the first, which gets me down to 98. And I'll expend 1 from the second army, and that gets them down to 99. There's my 3 supply points, which you can't see over here. Now, I'm going to roll. You roll 1 die. There's no modifiers in this case. Oh, and there's actually a supply expenditure chart. Duh. See? Look at that. Huh? Now, you roll. Do we do the counterattack before or after the attack roll? Cumulative. Okay. After results have been determined, you can do a counterattack. So, all right, we're going to roll a die. Can't really see it. I'm going to scooch it up here so maybe you can see it. And the red die will be the, let's see, can you see that? Yeah, kind of, not great, but I'll share. So the red die will be the Central Powers. And we roll the dice, and we score a 1. The one thing we didn't want to get. All right, no worries. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. All right. So before we inflict the loss on the defender, which I may be able to do by flipping the counter or placing one of these -1 strength points under it or retreating. I'm not sure yet. It's been a little bit. So we do the counterattack. So you can only attack enemy units in a G. Okay, we know that. So we did the die roll. So we know that the Belgians are going to take 1 loss. But they get the counterattack before. Determine the results of an attack, or you determine the results of the counterattack. So you triple the counterattacking strength. Artillery would be doubled. And you know what? I forgot to move my damn artillery. So we're gonna go back and do that. It's not gonna impact the combat. I'm gonna go ahead and go back and do that. Dang it, that's what I get for rushing through this. Talks about that. So do we want to supply 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 8 movement points. So if we want to supply, let's look at it cost 1 supply point. And the Belgians have 30. So I would either be on the, let's see, results, but the adjusted strength points is tripled after supply and terrain adjustments have been made. So either going to be at 3 if I don't supply, right? The counterattack you don't have to supply, or 6. Let's looking at the combat results table. At a 3, a 1 or a 2 is nothing, and a 3 through 6 is 1. Whereas on a 6, I get a third of a chance to inflict 2 strength points. So being the studs that we are, we're going to expend 1 supply point. So let me reach around over here and hopefully not fall over. Belgians have 30 supply points. We're going to go down to 29. Oh shoot, we're 30 minutes in. This turned into a long video. I'm only doing the German turn. So that's okay. Part of these learn to play videos, you're going to have to put up with that a little bit. So they're the white die. So they're going to do a counterattack before we do the losses. And we get a roll of a 3. So at a 6, so that's going to be 1 strength point loss inflicted. So let's see, how do we distribute losses here? I'm going to look really quick. And like I said, I will not be doing this detail on the combats in the future. I just wanted to make sure I go through this so you guys can have a good idea how to play. So you have to eliminate, there's a priority to eliminating strength points. Unit can be removed from the map, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Strength points can be eliminated a number of ways. Unit may be flipped. You can use strength point loss markers, which are these. They're half strength and -1 markers, but there is a priority, so that's going to take effect here. Priority is attacking cavalry, then infantry. Assault marines and mountains are also infantry. Defending cavalry, artillery, fortresses. This is interesting. All the strength points of one type must be eliminated before strength points of another type can be eliminated. Cavalry units with a full strength are considered to be infantry for supply expenditure and loss-taking requirements. That's for the British and the German cavalry. Okay. All right. Retreat. In order to reduce losses, defender in a combat may opt to retreat all combat units from the hex being attacked. So I should have said this before I did my counterattack. Reduced by a third, so they would still lose 1 strength point. All ground combat units required to retreat. Now, this is later, at least half the strength points. So that would apply here because there's only 2 strength points. All right. Blah, blah, blah. You would actually determine this before you counterattack, so I kind of screwed up. And I should have multiplied only by 2. So let's just say I said before the combat that yes, we're going to, let's see if that changes. It would have been doubled to 4 instead of going to 6, and I rolled a 3. Still would have been 1 point inflicted on the Germans. So how do we mark? Let's see here. Here's an example. I believe you put the strength reduction under the counter. I'm reading the example here. Oh, it goes on top. Okay. So just for the sake of clarity, and I do want to end this video before it gets too long, German player is going to go ahead and mark the division that attacked by placing a -1 strength point on top of it. And so that it doesn't get confusing, we're going to move that to the bottom of the stack. The Belgian player is still going to take 1 step loss, which it looks like they could satisfy that by flipping. And then we're going to retreat. So we'll retreat this way up the road. And then let's see if we're allowed to advance, because I do think we want to advance after combat. Pretty sure I can advance. When the defending hexes retreat, attacking units have the option of moving into the vacated hex. Except artillery cannot advance. So we're going to go ahead and advance because we want to cut off Liège, right? So we will go ahead and advance the infantry unit here. Oh my goodness, cancer fingers, stop. And we're going to leave behind 2 infantry divisions. Well, they didn't attack, right? But one of the cavalry, and I'm going to go ahead and move up a cavalry unit here. So that way, it just gives me a little more flexibility. Now, I did forget to move the damn artillery. So let's see if we can do this without knocking a bunch of stuff over. So we got the siege artillery coming, and we're going to cross the river, but there's a bridge here. So 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't think I have any here. I think I moved it all up. We got some siege artillery here. So 1, 2. I want to do that. Oh, crap. Oh my goodness. What is this? Get this in the light here. 2805. 2801, 2, 5. Get my magnifying glass here. Damn it. I hate my eyesight. Of course, as we get older, it's pretty normal, isn't it? 2805. All right. Let's look. 2801, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is very interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right here. That guy should be there. Huh? All right. So I moved that. We're still moving our siege guns to. Eventually we're going to get to use rail movement, but that's not till like turn 6. cavalry. I forgot to move my cavalry, so I'm mulliganing myself here. So I might as well do this. 2, whoops, 4. And we'll get a guy there in the woods. Not going to move any down here. I think that's good enough for now. This guy is, where are these guys? God dang it. 2707 right here. See, that got bumped. These guys are here. And I don't, shit, did I move these already? I don't think I did. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And I move these guys way back here, so we're all caught up in movement. We did combat. No replacements or recombinations. All right, so next video, because I want to make this, and we'll do the Entente reinforcements, which will be none. So I'm going to make a little note here. On the next video, we'll start the Entente land movement phase. So there you go. There's 2 whole turns completed, and I know it's been slow and 40 minutes, but hopefully I didn't block the camera with my body, because I'm not going to go back and redo everything. But thank you all for joining me, and we will continue in the next video with the Entente land movement phase. And at some point, what I'll do is I will play, take some notes, and at some point my videos will start to be a report out on what happened, because I know you're not going to sit here and watch my videos hour after hour just to see me play. So thank you for joining me, and until next video, be well. Thanks. Bye.